Step number 1 is save $2,000 as fast as possible. Right now, more than half of America does not have $1,000 saved up to protect them against an emergency. And with all the inflation that we have seen over the last number of years, things have become more expensive. And the reality is things will go wrong. Your car is going to break down, your AC is not going to work, your window's going to break, something's going to happen. And if you don't have a little bit of cash, we're just starting with $2,000. This is not the end goal. This is the starting goal. If you do not have $2,000, anytime something small happens in your life, number 1, it's going to stress you out. Number 2, it's going to cause you to go deeper into credit card debt. And then number 3, it's going to cause a whole mix of problems. So to avoid that, you need to have some sort of cash buffer that way when something bad happens, you can avoid all that stress because you're prepared for it. And then number 2, you don't have to worry about going deeper into debt because you have the cash to pay for the problem. You don't have to make it into a bigger deal than it needs to be. Step number 2 is you have to pay off your high interest debts, which include things like your credit card debts and your payday loans. Because if you have credit card debts and payday loans costing you 15, 20, 25, 28% a year, it is going to be impossible for you to ever build any wealth. I call this steps 1 and 2 the financial danger zone. So if you were in a situation where you don't have an extra $2,000 saved up, or you have credit card debt or those other high interest debts, you need to get extremely serious, and this is going to take the most extreme sacrifice in this stage. So if you are in this stage where you are still in steps number 1 and 2, no more eating at restaurants, no more going on vacations, no more buying any name brand stuff, and no more Netflix. Because right now you need to make some extreme change to see some extreme change. Now you're going to say, well, Jaspreet, why not Netflix? It's just $15 a month. Well, it's not about the $15 a month. If you don't have $2,000, if you have credit card debt, you need to do everything possible to cut back on your expenses and earn some extra money. That way we can get out of the financial danger zone. And the average American is watching more than 2 hours of Netflix a day. That's 14 hours a week, 60 hours a month, and we're talking about close to 1,000 hours a year. If you had suddenly an extra 60 hours a month, don't you think you could earn some more money? Don't you think you can learn a little bit more on how to invest better? Don't you think you can learn a little bit more on how you can attract more money through a business idea? Don't you think you can learn a little bit more on how you can spend less money? And this is where, if you are in this financial danger zone, you got to have a little bit of fire, a little bit of urgency here, because the reality is in this stage of your finances, you are making everybody else rich except yourself, because as soon as you go to work, that money leaves. It leaves your bank account to make everybody else rich. You're making Amex rich, you're making Visa rich, you're making BMW richer, you're making Gucci richer, you're making everybody richer except yourself. And you got to stop. Because the reality is, if you want to become wealthy, you need to keep that money for yourself. And if you keep giving your money to everybody else, you're never going to become wealthy. So you got to decide what's more important to you right now. Is it the comfort of having the 2 hours of Netflix and having the nice stuff and looking like you're rich? Or is it making some extreme sacrifice, looking like you're extremely broke? That way in a couple of years, you can be a lot more free and not have to stress about money. I'll let you decide. Step number 3 is you gotta open 3 different bank accounts. Once you get out of the financial danger zone, now we can actually start talking about building wealth. Because when you're constantly trying to pay off your credit card debt, or you don't have any savings, there's no point to even think about passive income or investing, which is actually what a lot of those people end up trying to go for, which is really unfortunate because you're struggling with money. And when you're struggling with money, people on the internet start to sell you this idea of free money, passive income, make an extra $1,000 a month doing nothing. Well, that's not how it works, and they're selling you a scam, and then you end up into a deeper financial hole because you were desperate in that place. And so when you want to get out, you cannot bypass the hard work, but once you get out of the financial danger zone, now we can actually talk about growth and wealth. And in order to do that, you have to separate your money. Every wealthy person knows how much money they can spend, how much money they should be investing, and how much money they should be saving. And the best way to do that is to put walls, physical walls around your money, that way you do not accidentally spend your investment money, so you do not accidentally spend your savings money. Because when you keep it all in one bank account and you have $1,000 in there, well, you go to the store and you see the nice TV on sale and you realize you have the money to buy it. You forget how much money is supposed to be saved and how much is supposed to be invested, so you just buy the TV for $942 because it was on sale, and then you realize, oops, I was supposed to invest. Well, I guess I'll do that next month. That next month later, I'll get to it when I get to it, is what keeps so many people broke. And now we're going to build a wall for your money, and the wall is going to be 3 different bank accounts. And most banks are going to allow you to do this for free. If your bank is charging you money, get yourself a new bank. So what's going to happen is your money is going to be deposited here into your spending account. So as you get paid, money is going to be deposited into this account, and then you're going to create an automatic withdrawal and deposit to put some money into this account, which is going to hold your investing money, and some money is going to be deposited here into this account, which is going to hold your savings money. That way you're keeping the money separate. This is the money you're going to save for an emergency. This is the money that you're going to invest to make you wealthy, and this is the money that you're going to live off of. Now your next question is, well, Jaspreet, how much money should I be putting aside into these 3 different funds? Well, this brings us to point number 4. Step number 4 is to create a system for your money, and one of the simplest rules of thumbs that I teach is the 75, 15, 10 plan, which says for every dollar that you earn from here on out, 75 cents is the maximum you spend, 15 cents is the minimum you invest, 10 cents is the minimum that you save. So you make $100, $75 staying here, your spending account. $15 go into this bank account, which is your investing account, and $10 go into here, which is the money that's going to be used for your savings. And the nice thing about this is whether you're making $100 or $1,000 or $100,000, it all scales. You're always going to put money aside to save. You're always going to put money aside to invest. And most banks are going to allow you to automate this entire process because you want this to happen without you having to think about it or without you having to do something about it. And I want you to think about this kind of like a tax. When you go to work and get paid, what's the first expense that you have to pay? Now you might say, well, I got to pay my mortgage or my rent or my car payment. Well, that's not true. The first person to get paid is the government. Because before you actually see that money, the government's going to take their money first. And the reason why the government does that is because they don't trust you. Because they know that if you had to pay your taxes at the end of the year, chances are you will have already spent all that money. So you want to allocate this money into the different bank accounts without you having to do something, because you want to treat it like a tax. Because the government knows that if you have more money, you're going to spend it. Well, if you take this money and you put it here and you put it here, you're going to spend this, but this money's already been allocated towards your investing money, so you can't spend it. And this money's been allocated towards your savings money, so you can't spend it. Remember, we're building walls around this. That way now you're taxing yourself, but now this tax that you're taxing yourself isn't to make the government richer, it's to make yourself richer. Because this investing is what's going to make you wealthy, and I'll talk about how you do it in just a minute. The savings are there to protect you against an emergency, because you got to have some savings to protect you. And the spending is what you use to eat and have a house and have a car. And you might say, well, Jaspreet, I'm already struggling as it is. How do you expect me to live off of 3/4 of every dollar that I earn? Well, again, think of it like a tax. If the government was going to raise your taxes by 25%, what would you do? Complain, scream, cry, kick? Well, and then you find a way to pay it. Because if you don't, you're going to end up in jail. Now you're taxing yourself, but not to make the government richer, but to make yourself richer. Now, for those of you that are investors or want to become investors, I want to remind you that I just put together a brand new investing masterclass where I'll walk you through how you can find hidden investment opportunities before everybody else. And I'll show you the exact system that my firm and I use to research investment opportunities and find them before they hit the headlines. It's a completely free masterclass. And when you sign up for this masterclass, you're also going to get access to Market Briefs, which is my newsletter for investors, complimentary, free as a bonus. So if you want to get the investing masterclass and get Market Briefs for free, all you have to do is click the link down in the description below to register. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.